Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, well, my number one is a game called Super Time Force on the Xbox One. It's also available on the Xbox 360, and it's out this week, so it is actually a new game. And it opens. You've heard of this, obviously.
Yes.
It opens with a wall of crawling text, which was just. I won't spoil it. It's just stupid gags and references, and I just thought I'm all over this already. It's a retro 16-bit style platformer shooter, and at first you play as three characters. One of them's a ranged character who can shoot through walls and fire rebounds off walls. And then there's a Rambois, Gene Rambois, Rambois, who's the pretty standard meathead with the spread shot machine gun. And then there's a character called Shield or Shieldy or something who can create a protective orb around himself and has a shield. But anyway, those are the three characters you start with. Every world you encounter a new character who joins your squad. It's a side-scrolling shoot 'em up, but the main system is that you press B at any time to tag in a new member of your team who can be the same team member you've been using the whole time. Basically, you have 30 seconds to do with the entire level, and it's really hard to explain, actually, as simple as it is. I mean, you know how it works, don't you?
Do you die and then rewind, and then you add another person to your team, and the other person, it replays your initial run, and you join forces with your replay?
You basically tag in a new. It's called a timeout. You have, I think, around about 30 per level. And you have to you can use them to stop time from running out. You can also pick up little clocks. It's not complicated, or is it complicated? It's definitely hard to describe, I know that. Basically, to play it is to experience just a series of eureka moments. Basically, throughout the course of the level, you can have... Let's say there's a wall you have to bust down. You shoot it for a certain amount of time, the clock runs out, you rewind the clock, your other guy's dead, but everything he does until he dies is still going. So then you rewind to the beginning, bring another character in, and then you've got double the amount of fire on that door. That first character will still die, and you can progress, and you've still got the extra time because the clock ticks.
Gotcha.
I think that makes vague sense. But yeah, you just playing it, you constantly realise how the game works. I think throughout the whole course of the game, and it runs for about 6-7 hours, but there's so much replay value. But as you play it, you constantly, there's too many to count. But a big one for me personally was realising that I could go off, I could take one character at the beginning and just run off looking for collectibles and extras. And then when they died, when the clock ran out, rewind all the way back to the beginning and then do the level as it is. And all the collectibles will still be caught up because he's still going to go on his run.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's the process of dying. You can run into battle and just get shot, and then you're mandatory to. You have to do a mandatory tap out or whatever it's called. I've got timeouts. Timeout. Sorry. So you rewind and go back. And at first, whenever I died, I was just doing the same thing again. But I realised that, of course, I could attempt to save that first play. You basically steam forward and shoot whoever killed him or destroy the fire, and then he will still die, but you can jump on him and collect him and sort of use him as a collectible almost, and you've got an extra life because everything's one-hit kills. But
okay.
And you also have elements of their weapon as well. I'm making it sound really complicated when in reality it's really not. I think the thing to say about it is that the only potential problem, and this is not a fault of the game, is that the tutorial the process of the tutorial is quite long, and just because of the mildly complicated nature of the game, I didn't feel like I was properly grasping it until like an hour had passed. So if people play on 360, I don't know whether the demo will do it justice. Because it's absolutely worth sticking with. I'm worried about the demo's ability to convey what the game is, because I didn't really even feel like I was grasping it until way after the tutorial had finished. But yeah, there's a replay system as well. Again, this is on Xbox One, not Xbox 360. So after every level, you watch the whole thing, as with all of your replays going at once. And it's amazing because you always all you see is opportunities to do things quicker, where to cut corners. You know, if you see yourself vaguely look to go and see if there's a collectible up there, you just realise you could rewind and go and sort of cut that out completely. So it's going to be great when there's a community of people sort of going after high scores and speed runs and stuff. It's going to be amazing. I mean, basically the game is superb. I've seen the reviews came out today, and there were a lot of 8 out of 10s where I think this is a 9 all day long, absolutely positively. It's both simpler than it's definitely simpler than I've made it sound, but it's simpler than you think. It's still an action game at heart, but there is a lot of scope to experiment, and it's not complicated. When you understand it, it's just brilliantly exciting, and it's an action game with real momentum and pace. I think it's absolutely fantastic, even though I've probably just sounded like a fucking mental case trying to explain something, because I thought I had it. I thought I was going to be able to explain what it is, but it's not complicated. It is an action game, and it's a effing brilliant one. It's taxing both to fully understand at first and to play in spots. It's definitely challenging, but it's rewarding, extremely rewarding, and just so much fun. I think it's really, really tremendous. And if you have an Xbox One or a 360, it's basically a must-buy, I think.